The Dead Marshes in Middle-earth are a truly haunting place. In J.R.R. Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings, these dark, misty swamps are known for their floating faces. These faces, barely visible beneath the surface of the water, have puzzled many. What are they? Could they be the spirits of ancient warriors who fought long ago? Or is there something even stranger happening in these murky waters? How did these ghostly faces end up here, and what do they reveal about the history of Middle-earth? What secrets do the Dead Marshes hold, and how do they affect the epic journey of our heroes? Well, to know all about this, you have to stay tuned till the end. Dead Marshes, located near the dark land of Mordor, is famous for the ghostly faces that seem to float in its murky waters. These haunting images have intrigued readers and scholars, leading to many ideas about where they come from and what they mean. The Dead Marshes are more than just a creepy setting for Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee's journey. They play a crucial role in the story, highlighting important themes like death, memory, and the lasting effects of evil. In The Lord of the Rings, Tolkien's detailed and chilling descriptions of these faces draw readers into the darker parts of Middle-earth's past and its ongoing impact on the present. Tolkien's description of the Dead Marshes is vivid and unsettling. The faces in the water are a stark reminder of past battles and the countless lives lost. They aren't just random images. They represent the souls of fallen warriors from long ago battles. This sense of history and tragedy adds depth to the story, showing how the past continues to influence the present. The faces in the marshes are also a symbol of the dual nature of Middle-earth. On one hand, there is great beauty and love. On the other hand, there is horror and loss. This mix of good and bad is a recurring theme in Tolkien's work. Even in the darkest places, there is a glimmer of hope, and in the most beautiful places, there's often a touch of sorrow. This balance makes Middle-earth feel real and relatable. As the characters move through the marshes, they are constantly reminded of the dangers they face and the sacrifices that have been made. The faces in the water are a physical manifestation of the struggle between good and evil. Dreary and wearisome, cold, clammy winter still held sway in this forsaken country. The only green was the scum of livid weed on the dark, greasy surfaces of the sullen waters. Dead grasses and rotting reeds loomed up in the mist like ragged shadows of long-forgotten summers. This quote from The Two Towers, The Passage of the Marshes. The Marshes, also called the Mere of Dead Faces, is a vast, gloomy area of stagnant marshes found east of Emin Muil and bordering the Dagorlad Plain. This area is notorious for being the site of the ancient Battle of Dagorlad during the War of the Last Alliance. Readers first encounter the Dead Marshes in The Two Towers, the second book of Tolkien's epic saga. In this part of the story, Frodo and Sam, with the dubious guidance of Gollum, traverse this bleak and dangerous landscape on their way to Mordor. The marshes are depicted as a mix of bogs and fens, filled with murky, still waters and an overwhelming sense of decay. The eerie atmosphere is heightened by ghostly faces that float just beneath the water surface. To truly understand the significance of the marshes, it is important to look at their historical background within Middle-earth. The marshes are the result of two major battles that left a permanent mark on the land. The first battle, the Battle of Dagorlad, occurred in the year 3434 of the Second Age. This decisive fight was between the last alliance of elves and men, led by King Gil-galad and Elendil, against Sauron's dark forces. After this battle, many soldiers and warriors were left behind in the marshes, their bodies slowly sinking into the mire. The second significant event was the Battle of Dagorlad in 1899 of the Third Age. This battle involved the forces of Gondor and the Way Riders. The defeat of the Gondorian forces added even more bodies to the marshes, solidifying their reputation as a place of death and despair. These historical conflicts have left a grim legacy, making the marshes not just a physical location, but a haunting reminder of the battles fought and the lives lost in the struggle against darkness. The marshes are a poignant element in Tolkien's story. They are more than just a spooky setting. They symbolize the lingering effects of war and the toll it takes on the land and its people. As Frodo and Sam make their way through this dreary landscape, they are confronted with the harsh realities of their quest and the sacrifices made by those who came before them. Tolkien's depiction of the marshes is a powerful reminder of the past's impact on the present. During the War of the Ring, Gollum led Frodo Baggins and Samwise Gamgee through the marshes on their quest to destroy the One Ring. They entered this spooky place at dawn on March 1st, 3019. The marshes were filled with mysterious lights and candles that danced around, which Gollum called candles of corpses. These lights were dangerous because they could enchant travelers. Those who tried to touch the bodies in the water often drowned and joined the dead beneath the surface. As they navigated the marshes, Frodo became captivated by the lights and reached out to touch the ghostly faces. Luckily, Sam was able to snap him out of the trance before anything bad happened. Despite this, Frodo managed to catch a brief glimpse of the history and sorrow of the dead faces in the water. Gollum warned them that the dead couldn't be touched, hinting that he had learned this the hard way. The journey through the marshes was tense and filled with danger. At one point, a Nazgul on a terrifying black winged creature flew overhead, casting a shadow of fear over the group. This sight was so terrifying that it caused Gollum to revert to his old speech patterns, which he had almost abandoned after promising to serve the ring-bearer. Despite these challenges, Frodo, Sam, and Gollum managed to make it through the Dead Marshes. They emerged from the dark and gloomy landscape on the morning of March 2nd, 3019. This passage through the marshes was a critical part of their journey to Mount Doom and highlighted the constant peril they faced. The marshes themselves, with their haunting lights and ghostly faces, served as a grim reminder of the many lives lost in the battles of Middle-earth and the enduring presence of death and danger in their quest to destroy the One Ring. "I see that you're looking at the marshes," said Gandalf. "You will find them full of dreadful things. They are the burial grounds of an ancient battle, and the dead are still there, lying beneath the mud and the water. The faces of the dead are visible in the pools of stagnant water, and their eyes are open, gazing up from the depths as though they are still in the midst of their final battle. It is a place of great sorrow and despair, where the very air is heavy with the weight of the past. Do not look too closely, for if you do, you may find yourself drawn into the depths, just as the dead have been." The marshes gets its name from the Battle of Dagorlad, which happened over 3,000 years before the events of The Lord of the Rings, and nearly 2,000 years after the Rings of Power. This battle, occurring at the end of the Second Age, during the War of the Last Alliance, saw elves and men join forces to fight against Sauron. The Battle of Dagorlad was a crucial turning point as it allowed the forces of elves and men to enter Mordor, bringing them closer to Sauron's stronghold. While Sauron wouldn't be defeated until a few years later, this battle was essential in paving the way for their eventual victory. When Frodo and Sam traverse the Dead Marshes in The Lord of the Rings, they see the eerie sight of dead bodies floating just beneath the water surface. These bodies, belonging to elves, men, and orcs, have remained in the marshes for thousands of years. The swamp has grown around them, and a mysterious, sinister power keeps them in place. Gollum, who guides Frodo and Sam, warns them not to get too close to the faces or the lights that flicker above them. Sam suspects that the preservation of the bodies might be connected to the Dark Land and Morgoth, Sauron's former master. The Battle of Dagorland is mentioned in The Lord of the Rings, and its impact is felt throughout the story. The last alliance of elves and men needed to cross this land to reach Mordor, and the battle was a necessary step in their fight against Sauron. The heavy loss of life is evident when Frodo and Sam see the many dead faces in the marshes. However, the defeat of Sauron in this battle did not destroy the One Ring, allowing Sauron to rise again. This sets the stage for the events of the Lord of the Rings trilogy, particularly the journey described in the Two Towers. The Dead Marshes are a haunting reminder of the past battles and the lives lost in the struggle against darkness. They serve as a powerful symbol of the enduring impact of war and the sinister forces that linger in Middle-earth. "This is the Dead Marshes," said Gollum. "The dead folk lie here, and their faces look up out of the water. But not all of them are dead. Some are alive still. They have been here for many years, and they are trapped in the water and the fog. The marshes are a place of dark magic and evil, and the dead do not rest easy here. They are bound to the land and cannot leave, even in death. The marshes are full of memories and shadows, and they will haunt you if you let them." Gollum, one of the most complex characters in Tolkien's narrative, provides critical insights into the nature of the marshes. His experiences with the marshes and his warnings to Frodo and Sam are key to understanding the enigmatic faces that haunt the landscape. Gollum describes the marshes with a mix of fear and familiarity, emphasizing their dangerous and unsettling nature. In the Two Towers, Gollum recounts the marshes as a place where tall men with long swords and terrible elves and orcs shrieking once fought. His description highlights the violent history of the marshes and the presence of lingering spirits. Gollum's warnings about the faces referred to as candles and shapes to see are particularly significant. He advises Frodo and Sam not to look at the faces or follow the ghostly lights, suggesting that they are both dangerous and deceptive. Gollum's warnings about the faces as candles imply that these apparitions may not be tangible spirits, but rather illusions designed to deceive and disorient. This theory is supported by the fact that the faces cannot be touched or interacted with, suggesting they are manifestations of the marsh's dark magic or psychological warfare. The faces serve as a visual and emotional barrier, adding to the sense of dread and confusion experienced by those who encounter them. The concept of the faces as illusions aligns with the broader theme of deception in Tolkien's work. So, do you like Tolkien's work? Well, let us know in the comments below. And before we continue, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Talking more on the faces in the marshes that are more than mere ghostly apparitions, they are rich in symbolic and thematic significance. They reflect the enduring impact of war and the cost of conflict, serving as a grim reminder of the lives lost and the darkness that lingers. The faces in the marshes symbolize the concept of death and memory. They represent the lingering presence of those who have passed away, capturing their essence and preserving their memory in a state of haunting stillness. The marshes themselves are described as a place where the dead rest in a state of perpetual twilight, their faces serving as a reminder of the past and the cost of war. In Tolkien's mythology, death is not the end, but a transition to another state of existence. The faces in the marshes captured this idea, reflecting the ongoing impact of the dead on the living world. They serve as a bridge between the past and the present, highlighting the ways in which history continues to influence the current state of Middle-earth. The faces in the Dead Marshes also symbolize the themes of corruption and redemption. The desolate and eerie landscape reflects the pervasive influence of evil and the challenges faced by those seeking to overcome darkness. The marshes serve as a backdrop for the characters' struggles and growth, highlighting the themes of redemption and the fight against corruption. The faces represent the corruption of Middle-earth and the enduring impact of evil. They are a manifestation of the darkness that has permeated the land, serving as a reminder of the ongoing battle between light and shadow. The struggle to overcome the influence of the marshes reflects the broader struggle faced by the characters as they seek to defeat Sauron and restore balance to the world. One of the most intriguing aspects of the Dead Marshes is the idea that the souls of the fallen are somehow trapped there. This phenomenon sets the marshes apart from other battlefields in Middle-earth, where the dead are usually allowed to rest in peace. Instead, the marshes seem to hold on to their tragic past, keeping the spirits of the deceased in a kind of eternal stasis. Scholars and fans of Tolkien's work have long wondered why these souls are trapped in the marshes. While Tolkien did not provide a definitive answer, there are some intriguing theories that can be drawn from this broader mythos. One such theory involves the concept of houseless elves. According to Tolkien, these are elves who, upon dying in battle, choose not to go to the halls of Mandos in the Undying Lands. Instead, they remained in the world, driven by a thirst for vengeance or a sense of duty. This idea fits well with Tolkien's exploration of mortality and immortality, themes that are present throughout his works. The Dead Marshes, with their trapped souls and eerie lights, serve as a reminder of the consequences of refusing to accept the natural order of life and death. The flickering lights that hover over the marshes are another fascinating aspect of this eerie place. Described by Tolkien as dimly shining smoke or misty flames, these lights have inspired many interpretations. Some believe they are the spirits of the dead, while others compare them to the will-o'-the-wisps of English folklore, which are said to lead travelers astray. In Peter Jackson's film adaptation of The Two Towers, Gollum warns Frodo and Sam not to follow the lights, suggesting that they are dangerous and deceptive. However, there is another possible interpretation of these lights. In Tolkien's world, there are other instances of spirits bound by oaths or circumstances who must complete certain tasks before finding peace. The dead men of Dun Harrow, for example, are cursed to remain in Middle-earth until they fulfill their oath to Aragorn. This raises the question of whether the lights in the Dead Marshes might have a more benevolent purpose. Could they be guiding lost souls to safety or helping them find release from their watery graves? The true nature of the marshes and their ghostly lights remain a mystery. Whether the spirits trapped there are suffering an eternal torment or trying to find a way to complete their unfinished business, Tolkien leaves it up to his readers' imaginations. What is clear, however, is that the marshes are a place of deep sorrow and haunting beauty, a reminder of the heavy toll of war and the enduring legacy of those who fought to protect Middle-earth. Marshes stand as a powerful symbol of the past's hold on the present. They remind us of the bravery and sacrifice of the warriors who fought in the great battles of Middle-earth, and they challenge us to consider the consequences of our own choices. Are we willing to accept the natural cycle of life and death, or will we, like the spirits of the marshes, remain trapped by our own fears and regrets? "I have been here before," said Frodo. "I have seen the faces in the water, and I have felt the weight of the place upon me. The marshes are a land of shadows and decay, where the air is thick with the smell of death. The faces in the water are a reminder of a battle that was fought here, and they seem to be reaching out as though begging for release. It is a place that should be avoided, for it holds a darkness that can consume even the bravest of hearts." The faces in the marshes have a profound impact on Frodo and Sam as they navigate through this treacherous landscape. The haunting apparitions challenge their perceptions and test their resolve, adding a layer of psychological complexity to their journey. Frodo's encounter with the faces reveals his growing vulnerability to the dark influences surrounding him. The eerie imagery of the faces and the unsettling atmosphere of the marshes contribute to the sense of fear and confusion. The faces represent not just a physical danger, but also a psychological obstacle that challenges Frodo's resolve and ability to maintain his focus on the quest. The faces also serve as a manifestation of Frodo's internal struggles. The Dead Marshes, said Sam, are a place of deep sorrow and dread. The land is dark and desolate, and the water is full of the ghosts of the dead. The faces of the fallen are visible in the pools, their eyes staring up as though they are still alive. The air is heavy with the weight of their despair, and the ground is treacherous and unstable. It is a place that holds the memory of a great tragedy, and it's not a place for living to linger. Sam's reaction to the faces is one of fear and determination to protect Frodo. His protective nature is evident in his efforts to shield Frodo from the influence of the faces and his determination to keep them on course. Sam's response to the faces reflects his loyalty and his role as a guardian for Frodo. Sam's protective instincts are tested by the haunting apparitions, adding to the emotional and psychological weight of their journey. His determination to resist the influence of the faces highlights the theme of loyalty and the importance of friendship in overcoming the challenges of Middle-earth. The faces in the Dead Marshes have inspired various themes and interpretations among fans and scholars. One such theory posits that the faces can be considered a type of cryptid, a mysterious and elusive creature or phenomenon that exists on the fringes of the known world. This theory explores the idea that the faces represent an enigmatic element of Middle-earth, embodying the unknown and the unexplained. The theory of the faces as cryptids aligns with Tolkien's fascination with mythology and folklore. In Middle-earth, cryptids and mysterious phenomena are common, reflecting the rich tapestry of myth and legend that informs the world. The faces of the marshes can be seen as part of a broader tradition, adding depth and intrigue to the lore of Middle-earth. The concept of cryptids in Middle-earth is supported by the enigmatic nature of the faces. They are not fully explained or understood within the context of the narrative, leaving room for speculation and interpretation. This sense of mystery and the unknown adds to the allure of the faces and their role in the story. The faces in the marshes can also be seen as a part of a broader tradition of ghostly apparitions and spectral phenomena found in folklore and mythology. Many cultures have stories of haunting spirits and ghostly figures that linger in places of death and conflict. The face in the marshes reflect this tradition, representing the lingering presence of the dead and the impact of past events on the present. On December 31st, 1960, J.R.R. Tolkien wrote a letter to L.W. Forster, sharing insights about the possible inspirations for the Dead Marshes and the Lord of the Rings. Tolkien mentioned that although he didn't think either world war had a direct influence on his writing, the desolate landscape of the marshes might have been shaped by his experiences during World War I. Specifically, he thought his time in northern France, fighting in the Battle of the Somme, could have subconsciously influenced his depiction of the Dead Marshes and the approaches to the Morannon. Despite this potential subconscious influence, Tolkien also stated that he was more inspired by the works of William Morris, particularly the depictions of Huns and Romans in the House of the Wolfings and the Roots of the Mountains. This suggests that literary influences played a significant role in shaping the eerie and haunting atmosphere of the Dead Marshes. Tom Shippey, a renowned Tolkien scholar, discussed the resemblance of the Dead Marshes to a World War I battlefield in the 1996 documentary, A Film Portrait of J.R.R. Tolkien. Shippey highlighted how the desolate and ghostly landscape of the Dead Marshes could remind readers of the war-torn fields of the Western Front. In Peter Jackson's 2002 film adaptation of The Twin Towers, the marshes are portrayed in a slightly different manner than in Tolkien's books. The film shows the marshes as foggy ponds with jets of fire, rather than the misty candle flames described in the text. In a dramatic scene, Frodo falls into one of the ponds, where ghostly figures appear and reach for him. Gollum pulls him out just in time, adding a tense and visual element to the already eerie atmosphere of the marshes. In The Rings of Power, the Dead Marshes are featured in the 5th episode of the first season. The series, set long before the events of The Lord of the Rings, shows Elenor Brandyfoot's family passing through the Grey Marshes during their migration east. At this time, the location is known as the Grey Marshes, reflecting the fact that the events take place before the Battle of Dagor Lod, which is when the marshes become known for the fallen soldiers trapped beneath their surface. Tolkien's experiences in World War I, particularly the Battle of Somme, have left a profound impact on him. The horrific sights and sounds of the battlefield likely seeped into his subconscious, influencing his writing in ways he might not have fully realized. The marshes, with their eerie lights and ghostly figures, can be seen as a manifestation of the trauma and loss experienced during the war. The marshes serve as a reminder of the countless lives lost and the haunting memories that linger long after the battles have ended. The influence of William Morris on Tolkien's work is another fascinating aspect of the Dead Marshes creation. Morris's vivid descriptions of ancient battles and heroic deeds also provide a rich tapestry for Tolkien to draw upon. In the adaptations of Tolkien's work, the Dead Marshes have been brought to life in new and visually striking ways. Peter Jackson's film adaptation added a layer of horror and tension with Frodo's near drowning and the menacing ghostly figures. This scene effectively captured the sense of danger and unease that pervades the marshes, making it one of the most memorable moments in the film. The Rings of Power further expands on the lore of the Dead Marshes by introducing them in a different context. The Grey Marshes, as they are known in the series, provide a glimpse into the past and the events that shaped Middle-earth. This new perspective adds depth to the already rich history of the Dead Marshes, showing how they have been a place of mystery and danger long before the events of The Lord of the Rings. The faces in the Dead Marshes have left a lasting impression on popular culture and interpretations of Tolkien's work. Their haunting imagery and symbolic significance continue to captivate audiences and inspire discussions about their meaning and impact. The haunting faces in the marshes have been depicted in various adaptations of Tolkien's work, including film and literature. In Jackson's film adaptations of The Lord of the Rings, the Dead Marshes are brought to life with striking visual effects that capture the eerie and unsettling quality of the faces. The portrayal of the marshes in the films has contributed to the ongoing fascination with this enigmatic element of Middle-earth. The faces have also influenced other works of fantasy and horror, serving as a source of inspiration for creators of exploring similar themes of death, memory, and the supernatural. The imagery of the faces has been referenced and adapted in various media, reflecting their enduring impact on popular culture. The faces in the marshes have also inspired a range of fan theories and interpretations. Enthusiasts of Tolkien's work have proposed various explanations for the nature of the faces, exploring their significance and role in the broader narrative of Middle-earth. These theories reflect the continued interest and engagement with the mysteries of Tolkien's world. Fan theories about the faces explore their symbolic meaning and connection to broader themes within Middle-earth. They contribute to the ongoing exploration of Tolkien's work and the ways in which his mythos continues to inspire and intrigue readers and viewers. The faces in the Dead Marshes are a haunting and enigmatic element of J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth. They represent the enduring impact of war, the lingering echoes of past conflicts, and the dark forces that continue to shape the world. As Gollum's cryptic warnings and the eerie imagery of the marshes suggest, the faces are not merely remnants of the past, but active, malevolent elements that influence the present. Tolkien's portrayal of the faces in the marshes reflects his deep understanding of the human condition and the effects of trauma and death. They symbolize the cost of conflict and the lasting scars left by darkness. The faces also serve as a proof to Tolkien's masterful storytelling, capturing the essence of Middle-earth's rich and complex world. As readers and viewers continue to engage with Tolkien's work, the faces in the marshes will remain a compelling and enigmatic element. Their legacy endures as a reflection of the deeper themes and messages woven into the fabric of Middle-earth's history and mythos. As Tolkien himself wrote, "The world is indeed full of peril, and in it there are many dark places. But still there is much that is fair, and though in all lands love is now mingled with grief, it grows perhaps the greater." The faces in the marshes are a haunting reminder of this duality, capturing the complex interplay of light and darkness that defines Tolkien's world. The faces in the marshes serve as a powerful symbol of the enduring impact of the past and the ongoing struggle against the forces of evil. So, let us know. Do you believe all of these stories are true? If these fictional characters were real, would you like to meet them? And how about this question? Which character is your favorite? I would love to hear all of your feedback, so please let me know the answers to these questions in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this latest edition of our video, make sure you give our video a big thumbs up. And also share it with all your friends and family and fellow fans of the Fellowship who are in your inner circle. For more great, amazing videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel too. And pressing on that bell notification will allow you to always be updated when we have new uploads and content for you. Thank you for enjoying a journey with us today, and we'll look forward to catching up with you in our next video. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you for watching.